the people who come here, who are fleeing wars, are fleeing civil unrest in their own countries, they're not here because they want to be. Yeah. They're here trying to find a safe space. The United States has always set itself up as being a place that is a place of immigrants and people from other places, right? The fact that people want to come here is actually, it's an amazing thing, right? People don't want to go into other countries. They want to come to the United States. You're talking about resources. You're talking about how much the government's role is in the help that's necessary. But there is definitely, in terms of what our posture, trying to be Christ-like, it is a posture of openness and open hands and how can I help? As opposed to, we don't want you here.
So good to see you. So good to see you. Welcome. Welcome to my home. Hi, Cristina. Hi. Welcome. Oh, good to see you. Come in.
Cristina, thank you for bringing up this topic regarding immigration. And, I want to get your thoughts, all of you who are leaders in your own respective churches, and you in particular, Cristina, who works directly with undocumented. What is the church's role in this issue it's such a hot topic right now, right? We are seeing ICE in our cities. There's a lot of, sort of for and against arguments, whether or not the U.S. has a obligation, right, to support, to help, and what are the limits of that support and help that we can offer. So tell us a little bit, I guess, about the work that you're currently doing with immigration, and maybe we can just sort of jump in and talk about some of these other more difficult and sort of tension-inducing pieces of this whole of the whole issue.
Yeah, immigration has been a hot topic for a while now, and I think we've all migrated from somewhere, right? You look at the table, right? We are immigrants, and I think if I had a choice, would I want to immigrate to another country? I love my island, right? Like, I love to have Christmas in the beach, but at the same time, like, there's so many conflict all around the world that people have to flee, due to political persecution, religious persecution, or it's just unbearable situation. So right now, the job of like what I do as a Department of Justice legal rep with our Ministry of Immigrant Connection is, just sort of like assess the situation. Like, there's a lot of things that have stopped, like TPS is not a thing for certain countries, temporary protected status is not a thing, and so there's a lot of refugee resettlement office that it's like, what do we do? Because there's a lot of benefit that has been cut out. And I think one of the things that the church can help is reduce the fear. I think when we speak the truth and we understand that, migrating, it's been happening since Exodus, right? Mm-hmm. We've been migrating since we left Egypt. So when we understand that, and we understand that an immigrant is, first of all, is not a threat, is not our enemy, he's our brother, and she's our sister. Mm-hmm. So what do we have in our hands as a church to help that immigrant, right? Mm-hmm. We might not have all the answers, but there's always something we can do to help, right? For the day, for a week, there's always something we can do to help. And sometimes I find myself without answer because immigration laws changes every day, especially in the current administration. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Especially with the current condition of all the fear with ICE just, showing up everywhere in churches, and now they're allowed to go inside the church, which before they were not allowed. So I think one of the things the church can help is how do we reduce this fear that's being induced, right? How do we know their rights? There are rights, even if you are undocumented, right?
Yeah.
Because the difference of being illegal and being undocumented is you didn't commit a crime. You're just fleeing from your country, right? Like, because it's unbearable. Like, am I illegal because I left my country? Like, I have no like the conditions, are just like, look at Venezuela, what's happened. Like, people had to leave everything and flee. So I think when we understand that, it's like, okay, today, right now, with the resources that I have, how can I? We're not going to change, the whole system, but I think if we all help, and as a church, we have this mentality. It's like, okay, look what you have in your hands. It's like the woman in this, she's like, I have nothing, like, and it, like, yeah, we have just two bases of oil. Like, there's always something you have to help, even if it's just to provide a lunch to a family.
Yeah.
It's the little thing. But we have in our mind, oh, we have to do this big thing. No, we serve a God, the God of the details. God is in the smallest detail. Like today, okay, like look at shelters. They're overflowed with refugees, right?
Yeah.
People that have no home. And if we see the big need, it's overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we have a mind shift and think like, how can my congregation help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I think to your point, Cristina, about how we can help and what we can do. I think about what the Lord told Moses, I believe, the instructions He gave, either Moses or Joshua, about the instructions when the children of Israel reached Canaan, right? When they got to the Promised Land. So first of all, I think about the earth is the Lord's and everything therein. Everything is the Lord's. So one of my students, the salutatorian, had gave her speech, and she said something that was really powerful that hit me. It's like, how can you be illegal on your own planet, right? Like these boundary markers are man-made boundary markers. Yes. The earth is the Lord's. Now, should we have laws and rules? That's also biblical, absolutely. But I think the language that we use, as you said, can mark people as criminalize people, dehumanize people, and that makes it easier to separate us from them. Yes. And it becomes you're over there and I'm over here.
Yeah.
You said God is in the details. I completely agree. One of the instructions that the Lord gave to the children of Israel is when you have sojourners to leave the gleanings. Don't pick everything off the trees. Leave, if you have grapes that are falling over your fence, somebody could be walking by and they may need it. Leave some for them. I think that is really important as when we think about what is our role. Our role is not to hoard and keep everything for ourselves. Our role is to share. The issue that we're having with resources being distributed is not because, I get it, there are people that there are migrants that come and they are able to receive resources, and people that are here that are not able to receive the resources. But it's not because the migrants are taking it, it's because the resources are not being distributed as they should, right? So instead of fighting about the migrants, which is what we're focused on, how about we fight? How about we focus on why billionaires are getting tax cuts? Why big businesses don't have to pay for certain taxes that the middle class have to, and that we can redistribute the wealth that we sure do have, right? To share it out. If we have money to fund wars and do all this stuff, we have money to be able to help our people at home and our sojourners, which is biblical.
And thinking about there's the problem and the magnitude of it, and what can we do? There are people doing the work. There are organizations in our city and in our nation that are doing it. And so your church doesn't need to create something new. It needs to get behind the people that are already doing it. And at the same time, love your neighbor. So like there's so many ways where the people of God can get involved in this conversation, from getting to know your neighbors, meeting practical needs for people that literally live in your city or your town, on your street, and figuring out where are the resources in your area and how can you connect people with them or support them, those organizations.
One of the things sort of just to add to your point, and as Cristina was talking, the thing that was coming to my mind is like, do we as a church allow ourselves to be swayed by a political position, or do we take Jesus's view, God's view, biblical view of the foreigner, right, coming in, the gleanings, right, as a human issue. And the people who come here, who are fleeing wars, are fleeing civil unrest in their own countries. They're not here because they want to be. They're here trying to find a safe space. I mean, I'm an immigrant. My parents came here because they felt that we would have a better chance for a better life here in the United States. And so, and interestingly enough, the United States has always set itself up as being a place that is a place of immigrants and people from other places, right? And of opportunity, and where you can thrive and have a chance. And so the fact that people want to come here is actually, it's an amazing thing, right? People don't want to go into other countries. They want to come to the United States. And I also see God in that. I also see, the hand of the Lord in the fact that people do want to come here. But as we're looking at the issue sort of from that biblical point of view, it is about what can I do as a person who believes that I'm here to do the Lord's work on this earth. How can I help? How can I be of service? How can I not allow myself to see the other, right? That's people, humans, people made in the image of God, being used as sort of these political tools for us to hate one another, for us to other the other person, to not want to give them what they might need, right? And I understand that it's sort of a bigger, complex issue, right? You're talking about resources. You're talking about how much the government's role is in the help that's necessary. But there is definitely, in terms of what our posture as the church, our posture as the people of God, our posture as trying to be Christ-like, it is a posture of openness and open hands and how can I help? As opposed to, we don't want you here.